And we're live. This is our Walking Dead podcast. I hope you can hear me okay. If you can't, well, let me know in the comments. And we're going to discuss a little bit of episode 3 and 4, which I just saw about 15 minutes ago. First, I have to acknowledge and congratulate the showrunners for really turning this series around. I didn't think that The Walking Dead had it in it anymore, but the season has started out fine. Although I do say that with a little bit of trepidation because Fear the Walking Dead really started out pretty well in this season, and I don't know, it just fell apart midway through. So let's keep cheering and hoping that the season continues in the same style and way that it's been going so far. But anyway, it's 1 o'clock in the morning here. I'm in Sao Paulo, Brazil, for anybody that's interested. So if I sound tired, it's because I am. Anyway, guys, let's get right to it. I saw episode 3, which I really, really enjoyed. It was a mystery episode, which I thought was cool. Uh, it kind of took me by surprise because I figured they were building up to the Whispers, but it was a nice twist that in the end it was just an episode about them and that post war thing. It's interesting that right now at high school, I'm a high school teacher, we're looking at the story of Odysseus, and one of the themes of that uh, story is what happens after the war. How do you overcome it? And this season has been so good because it's dealt with the drama of that post-war traumatic disorder, if you want to say that, PS, post-war syndrome. It's late, guys. I can't get my acronyms right. Post-traumatic stress disorder, right? PTSD. And the writers are being very smart in showing different ways that people are dealing with the aftermath of such a horrible event. So I think that's cool. It's brought a maturity to the show that it hasn't had in quite some time. So I appreciate that very much. Another thing that I like is the cinematography, the zombies. Everything seems to have gone up a notch. The lighting, it felt very comic book. Well, I shouldn't say that because the comic book is actually very adult and very mature, but superhero-ish comic book, I should say. Um, the last couple of seasons, and there's a new mood. It's a more mature mood that's in the show right now, which I really, really appreciate. So episode 3 really built on that. I like that they're not going with the flashbacks, flash forwards. They're just carrying the story straight out. That used to be so frustrating for me. I think it was season either 6 or 7. I remember it started out so well, and then we were so, at least I was so invested in what was going to happen next. I think it was the episode that had that big horde of zombies inside that pit. And then it would have one episode on that, and then it would skip. The next episode would be about something else, and then you'd have to wait till the following week to see, wait, what happened at the end of this episode? That's really frustrating storytelling, especially for a show that has binge quality to it, and but you can't really binge it because it comes on every week, but it's written in that style where you can just kind of at the end of the season go through them all. So that was frustrating for me. I'm glad so far they haven't done it and they've just been telling us the story episode to episode to episode. I think that works better for this series. Um, but no whispers as of yet, although maybe some of you fans of the show who know a bit better can actually point to some whisper content in there. Who knows? I was talking to a friend tonight about the possibility of the wolves coming back as whisperers. So who knows? But I'm just really excited for how they're gonna imagine or how they're gonna create these characters on screen. The famous whisperers from the comic books. But now let's get to the episode that everybody's gonna be talking about all through the evening and all through the week. Rick's episode, which is called The Obliged. We got a lot of drama going on. I see some people upset with Maggie and with Daryl and how they're kind of going against Rick, but for me, it feels so far very realistic. I'm surprised that they haven't felt like this before, or it was there, but it wasn't expressed very well, right? They were just kind of in the middle of the war. There wasn't too much time to think about what are we gonna do with these guys once we're done with them. Uh, but I like it. It adds a human element to the show that's been missing for a while. Real human drama. Yeah, Maggie is gonna be that pissed. You know, the guy that killed her husband, tortured her friends, is still alive. If I were in Maggie's shoes, I think I would be siding with her. I don't know. I can't say. I'd like to think I'd be a little bit more civil and be on Rick's side, but is Rick always right? I like this. A good show has got to have these questions. It's got to have these two opposing views, and it's been done in a very natural and very well, yeah, very natural way. Organic is the word I'm looking for. I keep getting these viewers that come in and out. I hope you can hear me. Who knows? I see the little hello. I'm holding the microphone maybe too close to my mouth. But anyway, if you're here and you're listening, say hello. Uh, I'm here. I'm in the dark, but I'm here because it's like I said, it's 1 o'clock in the morning and my hair's a mess and it's dark and I don't feel like turning the light on and my room's a fucking mess. But I just do these for myself, really. So the last one got about 40 views, which I thought was cool because I'm barely promoting these videos. By the way, if you do like something a bit more formal, I do a podcast with a buddy of mine, Jeremy Wardy, and every once in a while, a buddy of ours, Justin, pops in, and we talk about all sorts of movies. Since it was the Halloween season, we've been talking a lot more horror, but we will expand that to other genres. And you can find the link to that on my page. It's under Talking Movies. So check it out. You might have some fun with that. This is just my bullshit. Middle of the night, can't sleep, and just got to get this shit off my chest. Little live stream. But anyway, what do you all think with the Rick death? I well, first the episode was amazing. I loved the build up to it with the conflict between the saviors, but also with the Oceanside folk. Because at the end of episode 3, when Daryl and Maggie walked away and just let them do what they had to do, that was so hardcore. Carol again, hardcore as usual, getting away from one of the saviors. Uh, but you know, the, Rick's got to get into his head that these people just don't want to be led. I'm glad he finally got it into his head, but maybe too little, too late. I liked seeing Eugene again. Haven't seen him in a while. But the big climax is that we have Maggie coming back to Alexandria to kill Negan, who, again, much better version of Negan, toned down a lot, feels like a real broken man. If we're following the comics, we know that he will probably get out. I guess, I mean, it's not a spoiler, is it? Um, but I mean, he's around, guys. And do you guys really think they're gonna keep him in that cell for the rest of the show's run? Okay, I mean, just think about it. Uh, but if let's put an if there. Hello, listener, whoever you are. I keep getting listeners coming in and out. Uh, say hello if you're there, and tell me if you can hear me. Definitely, because I'm not sure how this mic is working right now. But anyway, the I like the new version of Negan. I mean, he feels scarier. He feels like a real human, unlike the last two seasons where he came off as like Lex Luthor type, straight out of the superhero comic books. Didn't like that, especially since he was written so well in the comics. So I prefer the Negan that we're getting this season. We haven't seen all that he's capable of yet, although he kind of broke down a little bit this episode with his head banging on the wall. Uh, but I loved his interactions with Michonne, who is sort of taking Rick's place as far as the back and forth in the cell, which in the comics, it's Rick that has those moments with him, which are very powerful. But she's doing a great job. I love that she's back on the show more full time. She was really missed the last season when she was kicking ass over in Wakanda. It was worth it for that reason. But I'm glad to have Michonne back. The opening sequence with her was awesome. With her, just she needs to get that rage out of her. It was really, really cool. So now we get Rick and Daryl in the pit, which was ridiculous, but they had to add some suspense there, not knowing if it was really going to be at that moment that Rick was going to be offed. And speaking of suspense, that's what I'm going to keep doing. I'm going to keep you in suspense because guess what? I forgot to mention Jadis and the priest. What a weird storyline that is, right? Um, who knows what that's building up to? It gave us a little bit of background as far as knowing that she definitely had something to do with these helicopters because remember when they were still the garbage pail kids, there was the helipad there and there was some connection that people were trying to make with her and his helicopter. So now it's official. She's definitely connected to these people, whoever they are, thinking New World Order. Who knows? And if they're there, why haven't they come in contact with the survivors more? Oh, excuse me. Nobody really knows. This is real radio. We're hear my yawning. Gonna go to bed soon. I'm trying to keep it to about 20 minutes here. I'm at the 13-minute mark. But anyway, I thought that whole scene with her, you know, putting that zombie over Gabriel and him barely escaping with his life once more by the power of God uh, was cool. I mean, I think we've seen stuff like that before, and uh, it was kind of inevitable what would happen. You know that he would survive. But the question is, what is she up to, and who is she connected to? What group is she connected to? So added a little bit more mystery to her character, which I really don't like. Uh, I didn't like one of the few things I didn't like about this season is how she's just part of the group now. They didn't really expand too much on why they would even want her in the group, but whatever. She's one of the Alexandrians now, but maybe not. So who knows where that's going. So back to the Rick thing. It's sad to see him go if he truly does go. There's some mixed info out there from the Walking Dead army. where they did get it right. It would be episode 5. So they're usually right about these things, but there's conflicting messages there, guys. Who knows what's going to happen to Rick? Is he going to be taken away by the helicopter people? Is he just going to die? Is he going to somehow be able to walk off into the sunset? Who the fuck knows? It's kind of oh, I see you, Justin. Well, there you go. Justin was in there for a second. But anyway, oh, there you go. I see Justin. Justin's the man. Glad you're here, man. This is just me bullshitting in the middle of the night. I'm entertaining myself, but it's good to have somebody online too. But anyway, yeah. So I was just talking about Rick when you made a comment, and yeah, I'm not sure about Rick either. I mean, I liked how it was set up to the point where he fell off the horse, and it that was the cheesiest part of the whole episode because it was so obviously like a stunt double, and uh, it just I liked where they were going with it. They were trying to do the what's her name now, his girl in the Andrea. They were trying to kind of do the Andrea death, which was way more heroic and had a lot more emotional impact. The fact that Rick fell off a damn horse was like, what the fuck? I mean, after he's been through so much and done so much, that he couldn't control a horse, or that he couldn't see that the horse was kind of getting a little bit out of control and just jump off it himself. Felt a little bit out of character, uh, but it definitely left that suspense factor in there because you see the two hordes coming in. Who the hell is going to save Rick at that moment? Because definitely nobody on the ground. So I think I did see somebody in one of the Walking Dead forums say, "Hey, did anybody hear help up? Is there a chance that one of the helicopter people are going to save him?" And I think actually I might have mentioned that with you, Justin, at some point, where that would be like a little twist where the helicopter people would save him, but the question was, well, how could they save him without the rest of the Alexandrians and the Hilltopians and the Kingdomians, without them noticing the helicopter people? Well, they did set it up pretty well where that could happen, and they would come to his rescue, and they could just take him, and he could have a possible is he dead or not sort of exit to the show, which I think would be the best thing to do, man, because it's the Rick show. Where, I mean, there's a lot of awesome characters in The Walking Dead, and of course, Kirkman. Well, I hope I got his name right. It's late at night. Has said that nobody's safe, but nobody's safe except for, like, come on, the guy that is the centerpiece of your whole universe. I mean, the comic begins with him, the show begins with him. Uh, Kirk has a little bit more leniency with Rick in the comics because they still have Carl, and Carl could definitely be this character that leads the comics after, if Rick ever dies in the comic books, which is cool. The show doesn't have that. They got big shoes to fill. I mean, Carl on the show never I never really liked him that much, to be honest. So I wasn't that sad that he went. But Rick is the heart and soul of that show, and to kill him off, I think would turn off a lot of fans. Even though the writing has been a lot better this season, more fans than have already been turned off. I think that's like the little glimmer of hope that they can give to the fans that hey, he's may not be dead, and we may find out what happens to Rick sometime in the far future. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that. Um, but that's just my thinking is, they introduced the helicopter people heavy this week, so it's no longer just in the background, and it happens to have happened right when Rick gets impaled in the middle of nowhere. It's a perfect way to write that in. We shall see next week. I what I don't want them to do is an episode like they did for Carl's death, where it was just like this montage episode that took forever and everybody's reading his letters, and we don't need more of that, you know? Yeah, the helicopter swooping in would work for me, man. Definitely. You gotta leave that little bit of glimmer of hope with Rick. I don't think the show can survive with him just being 100% dead. But before you came in, Justin, I was talking a little bit about what I like about this season is how the episodes are just building off of each other because the series had a tendency the last 2 or 3 years to be split among the characters. So you'd have one episode with Ricky Michonne, and then the next episode would be focusing on I don't know what the saviors are doing, and then it'd be back to like Morgan, and then we'd go back to that first cliffhanger from the first episode all the way in the fourth episode, and that for me was so frustrating. I didn't like that type of storytelling. I prefer, the building from week to week to week to week to week. Or if you're gonna shift to a different character, finish their storyline, like get that arc within that episode. Like I think season 4 did that beautifully. Once they all got separated from the prison, after that big war with the governor, you did get, they did split episodes, but every episode had a beginning, middle, and end, and it didn't leave us with those annoying cliffhangers that we'd have to wait 3 weeks, or to the other episode later to get to. So I hope that they keep this style for this season, and next week is going to just get us straight to what's going to happen to Rick. I think that they made a wise choice in not making it a mid-season finale. We're tired of those. We already had that with Glenn, which was really bad. That was the worst. Uh, hiding under the fucking dumpster. And then we had it again with, well, obviously with Negan showing up. We had waited a whole season. That one made sense. I didn't mind that one too much because come on, that's a great cliffhanger to end the season on. But then we had it again with Carl. It's like too much. I mean, we get it. They're gonna die. Let's or not die. Get saved by the magic dumpster. Yeah, Rick's dead. We get it. Just continue the story. Um, now, yeah, I heard that Shane is going to be back next episode, and yeah, so I guess they're going to play for some flashbacks, but I hope it doesn't go flashback heavy. I hope it doesn't become like the "This Is Your Life" episode. I hate those; they're so boring. Uh, So he'll probably maybe have some visions of the people that he's dealt with in the past, which would be cool. That would be cool. Definitely, maybe a zombie Shane would be really nice to see. Coming at him while he's going delirious and after being impaled. But in the end, yeah, get those helicopter folks over there. And wouldn't it be cool if like the series ended with them somehow getting to the New World Order city and there's Rick. I mean, the thing is, I mean, how would you work that out? Because I mean, Rick wouldn't just stay there and not want to go back for his people. Interesting. I don't know. I don't know what I would do as a writer, uh, except I wouldn't want Rick to be killed off at this point. We shall see. Yeah, we're getting Rick killed off. We're getting Apu killed off in The Simpsons. Well, he's not getting killed off. He's just disappearing. A lot of good characters are going. But I trust the writing so far this season, so I'm going to continue trusting it, and hopefully it won't let us down. And oh, Sasha and Herschel, but the actor that plays Herschel's dead though. So how are they going to bring him back? Just like maybe some footage. And I don't know how they can get Sasha unless it was very short because she's doing her. Oh no, but they're done filming Star Trek Discovery. But I don't know if they filmed it at the same time. But maybe they got her for a week or for a week for just a day. I don't know. Just don't make it. Um, don't make it flashback heavy. I think the three people that deserve a flashback scene for Rick is his wife, his son, and Shane, with a possible Glenn. I mean, he was a very special character for Rick, and he's the one that saved his ass at the start of the show. But anybody else, then it just becomes too much. And I don't think it would take away from the pacing of this season so far, which has had zero flashbacks as far as I can remember. I mean, did we have a flashback? I don't think so. Um, I mean, flashbacks, they can work wonderfully but you got to know how to got to know how to do it without making it sappy. I mean, Lost was built on flashbacks, but they all made what was happening in the present relevant. They were all relevant to what was going on, and not just say, "Oh, how much I miss these people," and I'm about to die. No, just die, and have a few memory things, and then go on with it. And of course, I want to see what happens with everybody's reaction in the separate camps. Daryl, and he had a nice conversation with Daryl. We crack a lot of jokes on Norman because, well, he's easy to crack jokes on, but I really love the scene that he had in the camp with Rick, where Rick is just saying like, "Man, you gotta, move past the things that happen and make a better choice." And then when he said that line about, like not killing the brother that left, no, not killing the man that left your brother on the rooftop to die, handcuffed, and Norman, Daryl, he really sold that scene with just his eyes, his body language. He does that well. He doesn't have too many emotions on the show. I don't know how he is. I've never seen him on any other in any other show, so I don't know if he can act beyond two emotions, but he does a lot with those two emotions when he has to. Oh, we're getting a Negan flashback. The real Lucille. Oh no! But I thought that was such a cool little set piece there with Negan finally breaking down a little bit. Hello, second person that's on this chat. Welcome. Glad to have you here. I was only gonna go for about 20 minutes. Maybe I'll go just a little bit longer because I'm enjoying virtually talking to Justin. I just did a 2 hour podcast with Justin. Uh, so he's probably sick of hearing my voice, but I did have a good time, and I wish we could have had like a Google Hangout. That would have been nice. We could have done a Google Hangout live right now talking about this. But I guess I would. I don't know if I need a Negan flashback with Lucille. I mean, we get that Lucille was his wife, and he's got an emotional attachment to this bat. Did he get into that? In the show, I'm not sure because I know in the comics he gets into that. I can't remember if he talked about that on the show already. But is that necessary? Who knows? I just hope it doesn't take up an hour of Walking Dead time because this season has been it's up there for me so far. But I also felt that way about the start of season 6, I believe. Whatever the season was where there was that horde of zombies down in that pit. That was a cool season, and then it just went downhill really quickly after that. So we'll see, guys. We'll see what happens. But I think that's all, guys. Not much more for me to say. I just wanted to do my quick thoughts, and I had a lot to say about these two episodes because I thought they were so well made, and I really like where the series is right now. It's a shame that the viewership is down. I don't know what they can really do to get the viewership back up, because if the good writing doesn't do it, and they're getting good writing at the moment, I don't know what else will. Unless they bring Glenn back from the dead or something. I mean, just it's got to be something really spectacularly amazing. Uh, I'm not sure if Negan breaking out of the cell would bring it back because I think Negan. I mean, he divided a lot of people, and I think he might have been one of the reasons why the ratings went down a little bit. Not just the bad writing. Um, than the last two seasons, so I'm not sure if getting Negan back in his full glory will bring people back. Hopefully, just good reviews and people saying, "Hey, look where this show is going. Look how much better it is. Check out who's playing. The Whisperers. Maybe get some buzz on that and see where it goes." I mean, the show started out with maybe what 4 million viewers. Weren't like it was good ratings, but they weren't the highest ever, and then it built year on year. So it's not impossible, I guess, for the show to come back. But I don't know if I want to wait 4 more seasons of The Walking Dead. I think I don't want it to turn into Dallas in a zombie apocalypse version of Dallas and just be like the forever show or like MASH. Uh, so that's it, guys. Thank you. I know that a couple of you listen to this during the week, which is really cool. So for those that will listen later, thanks for listening. Justin, thanks for dropping by, man, because you helped me get some thoughts out, and you put some nice things on there, which is awesome. So until next Sunday, and yeah, I think the community, I think we talked about that. For me, I think getting to that community should be the end of the series, although I'm a little behind in the comics because I got to the part where Michonne found her daughter. Oh, sorry. Spoilers for the comic books. Where Michonne found her daughter in the community, but I haven't read past that because I usually like to wait like about 5 or 6 issues because I like to binge them. But I think I waited a little too long. It's probably been almost a year since I read that, so they probably got a lot of issues out. So I'm not sure what's going on in the community yet. So don't spoil it for me either. And I don't know how interesting it is uh, over there, or if it's at all malevolent or not. So if I were just to end it without knowing what's coming ahead in the comics, I would just end it at them getting to the community, but the community being just a safe space. No twist, no tricks up anybody's sleeve. It's just this is it. We've arrived, guys. We made it all the way back from Atlanta to the community, and that's that. Yeah, see, you're kind of like me. I read it online, but even still, I just like to wait a little bit because it's so good. The comic is so good, and it sucks to read 20 pages. And you read 20 pages in what, like 20 minutes, a half an hour tops. Um, and then you're like, oh no, I want more. And you have no more because you got to wait for the next month. Although those guys have gotten way better. I remember back in the day, it used to take forever for them to put out an issue. Sometimes it take like 2 months, 3 months, and I would read the letter sections, and all the fans would get upset, and and Kirkman would be like, "We're getting better at this. I swear, we're getting better. We're gonna try to get these out month to month." So that's it. I'm going to bed for real. It's 1:36 my time, so it's way past my bedtime. I got to work tomorrow. Thank you guys. And like I said, I don't promote this live chat too much because it's just me bullshitting in the middle of the night. But we do have an awesome podcast called well, it's not called anything. It's the No Name Show for now. But got my co-host Jeremy. We got special guest Justin on there. We ranked all of the Friday the 13th movies, which was really cool. That's out on YouTube, or you can just find it here on my page under Talking Movies, that playlist. We got the Halloween series ranking out, Predator series, and probably by next week we'll have the Nightmare on Elm Street. And see how, look, it's 1:30 in the morning and I don't fuck up Nightmare on Elm Street, the name. So that'll be out by next week, and we also review a lot of movies, different types of movies, not just horror. We're not a horror podcast. And that's it. Adios. Good night. And thank you, Justin, for dropping in.